is. I don't know how you get a thing named after you. You can't even bench 500 raw, but whatever. So here, they always touch. Always touch. Then you roll them and turn them on against themselves until the other side touches on your chest and rests. Then you push it up the same way. Okay? That is a hell of a tricep builder. Obviously, you can do it on the incline as well, right? The next one that we used to use constantly when I was first learning how to bench strong was we held it in a hammer grip. We came all the way down till it came to our ears. Then we turned the pinky towards the forehead. And then as we came back up, we straightened it back. Supinate, back to pronate. Straight down, supinate, back to pronate. That is a hell of a medial head stretch. Huge, okay? Then another one, I was watching this infomercial late at night one night, I couldn't sleep. And I saw this stupid hillbilly dude that was on TV doing this crazy like Jane Fonda workout, right? And I saw him laying on his side and he was doing kick-ups like this. And I was like, I'm gonna try that tomorrow. So I tried it and it was for real. So you keep your elbow pointing at the sky and you just straighten it up. But there's no way to cheat it. You can't use any other muscle. But the real trick to doing it is change, every time you do it, change the hand pitch. Do it this way, or do it a variation of a twist as you come up. This is a good finisher. I wouldn't consider it one you can use a lot of weight with.
Nope.
So I wouldn't do it right after I got done benching, but the last exercise before I walk out, I'll take a lighter weight and smoke it.
I was gonna say, I used to do these for burnouts with some of my women clients, have them lay on their side and just burn it.
But sometimes that weird stuff is just a good thing to do and use, right? But in some variation, those are the major ones I use. You know, I'll change it up all the time. You can do it with kettlebells. You can hook a band around it. Whatever you want.
We've got some of the fat bells in our gym.
Yeah,
We start
I've never
with
tried
this,
them.
but it's awesome. The fold is kind of like that, but you rotate it down here and back up, and you just touch them, and they roll together the whole way. That's a great tricep builder.
Yeah, so I don't have any round bells or inside center mass bells, but yeah, you could use those for that and everything. I mean, there's no rocket science here. The trick is small variability. So I would use a straight bar for that, and then come over here and finish off with some dumbbells and mix it all up. You know, you can throw bands into the mix. You can put chains into the mix. I love using chains and then have them draped with a fly handle, and then have the chains coming down, and they're all the way on the ground, and then they're all the way almost off the ground at the top, like on a tricep extension, with all kinds of different hand positions. Those are murder.
I did them last week.
Yep. Any other questions on that? Okay. Now, for back work's a little bit more simplistic. What I do is rotate mentality-wise. I rotate single arm stuff one week and double arm stuff the next. That way it forces me to use different exercises and I have to think different ways.
So 1 week on, 1 week off?
1 week on straight bars or regular bars, double-handed shit, pull-ups, bend over rows, right, blah, 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 T-bar handles, right, where you're gonna use both arms. The next week, I find things I can do single arm. That forces me to pick different implements constantly, every other week. Make sense?
Yep.
I mean, it's that simple. But the problem is that everybody, I do bend over rows all the time. Yeah, that's why your back isn't getting any stronger. If you bend over rows, then the next week after the dumbbells, then the next week you do T-bars, then the next week you would do pull-ups, and then the next week you do, see what I mean? So even though it's double arm, it's still different exercises, constantly, and in every workout.
And this is gonna sound stupid to ask, but progressions, how do you, you said you come back and
I always use my pull-up strength as a indicator. I always use my bent over T-bar rows or bent over barbell rows as indicators. I always use how light my dumbbells feel on my bent over rows as indicators.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is like have 30 different exercises for everything, right? But have 5 of them
you come
that
back
you
to every
put
so
in
often.
and go, okay, that's a good guide. I know where I'm at. I know if I can JM press 365 to 400 that I can bench over 600 easy. So it's a guide.
Yep.
So I can actually see where I'm at on my bench with my JM press. How did I learn that? Trial and fucking error.
Yeah.
I have a few exercises, so you know another way I know how much I can bench, how much I can do with those double purple bands. So if I can bench 455 with double purple bands, which are 200 pounds of band tension doubled over, I know my bench is around 615 to 625. So I can put in feelers every 4 to 5 weeks to make sure I'm on the right track. The only way you're going to know that, though, is by experimenting with 40 or 50 different exercises, which is going to take a year. And then say, okay, when this one felt really good, my bench felt really good. Okay, but that doesn't mean you use this one all the time. It just means you put it in as an indicator. So then you start building these indicator workouts and exercises that start letting you know where you're at without actually testing it. Then you have like a few testers built in that are still builders as well. It's not the actual competition lift.
I actually clocked one of my workouts, and my heavy squat to triples, and then squat accessories, bench accessories, everything, from the time I started warming up to the time I finished my last set, about 2.5 hours. Deadlift was about hour 45, maybe 2 hours. Is that way wrong, or?
Yeah, it's way long.
Okay.
So your workout time, off season, should be between 50 minutes and an hour and 10. Why?
Cortisol, testosterone.
Right, cortisol to testosterone levels start to fall. That's why it's important. You notice how fast we got that warm-up done? Mm-hmm. Let's just take this into consideration. We go do the warm-up, took 12 minutes, okay? We got 45, 55 minutes left. We go max on the bench. We only rest 1.5 minutes between the light sets and 2 minutes between the heavy sets. If we take the proper jumps, we should be there in 5 to 7 jumps. That's 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops. We have 30 more minutes to do 4 exercises with minimal rest. How do you need to do any more than that? You don't. So if your workouts are taking too long, you're resting too much, and then you're not getting any more fit, then you're not putting on any more muscle, then you're increasing your cortisol levels, and then you're affecting the workouts the next day or the next
Sounds
week.
like he's trying to squat and bench in the same workout, though.
Yeah.
Bad idea, or?
Horrible.
So,
Squat and deadlift on the same workout because you're gonna have to do them on the same day, but the bench is completely different muscle groups.
Okay.
The problem is that you can't totally tear your body completely down. You have to separate. So the squat and the deadlift, even though they hit more muscle tissue than the squat and the bench, they're the same muscle groups. So the bench press kind of has to have its own day, kind of has to be away. Plus, how do you make your upper back super strong and your hamstrings and your glutes and everything if you're doing all that in one day? It's impossible.
Yeah, it's just hell trying to set it up.
You can't recover. The only reason that kind of works for you now is because you're not strong yet. You try to, if you were squatting 750 and benching 500, you'd find out real fast that ain't gonna work.
Yep.
Okay. Reason I was doing that is try to get a good amount of frequency. I've found that twice a week deadlifting, twice a week benching, and twice a week squatting worked really well for me. But would you say I could keep the same frequency? Just think smarter about how I plan my lifts.
The hard part is what gets you, and remember this, what gets you from a 400-pound squat to a 500-pound squat is not what's going to get you from a 500 to a 600.
Okay.
Your philosophy on everything is going to completely change because we just talked about that top fuel dragster analogy. You're able to do that right now because you're not tapped into your maximal strength. Once you start getting better, that type of training cycle is going to destroy you. You'll be fucking done before you're 25.
Talking about warming up, you know, we went through an extensive warm up today, but I heard you recently giving the analogy of what's his name, British deadlifter, Andy Bolton, and him telling you to shorten the warm up considerably in order to be ready for meet day.
Yep. Yeah, he increases.
So which, you know, coming back and forth like on season, off season, or?
I don't agree with that much. What I think is with Andy Bolton is something got confused there. Either I said it wrong or it got interpreted wrong, but Andy Bolton is not big into warm-ups at all.
Yeah.
But Andy Bolton only trains 3 days a week, and he only goes hard every other week. So his volume is 100 times less than yours. But how did he pull 1,000 pounds?
Doing what worked for him.
Right, and not overtraining. So what I'm getting at is that some things that work for you, it's easy, and it's a horrible saying, but it's absolutely true. It's easy to go from shit to suck. It's hard to go from good to great. Going from shit to suck, you can do anything and you'll get better, right? But taking somebody that's got a 900-pound squat and make him go to 950, you better know everything, because that dude's already at the ceiling limit. It's kind of like bodybuilding. If you already got 23-inch arms, how do you get to 24? Not what got you from 20 to 21, right? It's different. So my point is like you have to be careful with utilizing stuff. I think that's what hurts powerlifting the most is they see success with one thing, but then they don't realize that doesn't work the
I
next
used to
level.
squat 2 or 3 times a week until Friday came around. I had to squat 550 for sets of whatever.
Yeah.
And then when I get over 6 or 7, got started close to 8, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to squat again for 3 weeks. Honestly, like that was my thought. Like I'm even stronger
Yeah.
than you are.
So something I want you guys to all do, since we won't just talk the rest of whatever time we got left, 10 minutes. I want you guys to set If you bench under 250, you have 70 pounds. If you bench over 250, you have 100 pounds. And if you bench over 400, you have 120 pounds. You guys need to do 150 tricep push downs, and you need to get it done before 4 o'clock. And it has to be strict.
120 pounds.
Yep.
100?
Yep.
100 pounds.
Yep. And you have to use